Hi everyone, I'm Dhea Oroh from 3A class IBA student. Now we are going to talk about the 7 tools of TKM or Total Quality Management. TKM is divided into 3 parts. The first one is tools for generating ideas, and then tools for organize the data, and the last one is tools for identifying problems. And for the opening, we'll start from the first part. There are 3 tools for this part. The first one is check sheet, and then scatter diagram, and last but not least, cause and effect diagram. And what is check sheet? A check sheet is a structured prepared form for collecting and analyzing data. And then where we can use it. Basically, check sheet is very useful for people who work in a field because it can make them easier to retrieve data. It is an effective tool when collecting data on frequency and identifying patterns of events, problems, defects, and defect location, and for identifying defect causes. And then we are wondering how to interpret it. By collecting it in organized ways, fewer mistakes are likely in the collection, transcription, understanding, and storage of the data. And then this is the example for check sheet tools. Okay, then we come to scatter diagram. A scatter diagram is a tool for analyzing relationship between 2 variables, which we call as x and y, for determining how closely the 2 variables are related. And where to use this diagram? It works best when comparing large numbers of data points without regard to time. This is a very powerful type of chart and good when you are trying to show the relationship between 2 variables. And then how to interpret. If the data show an uphill pattern as you move from left to right, this indicates a positive relationship between x and y. If the data show a downhill pattern as you move from the left to right, this indicates a negative relationship. If the data don't seem to resemble any kind of pattern, then no relationship at all. Okay, then we already here's the example. Now we move to cause and effect diagram. Cause and effect diagram. What is it? It is a tool that helps identify, sort, and display possible cause of a specific problem or quality characteristic. And where to use it? The chief application of the cause and effect diagram is for the orderly arrangement of theories about the causes of the observed quality problem that the team is assigned to resolve. And then how to interpret it. Its main value is to serve a vehicle for producing, in a very focused manner, a list of all known or suspect causes which potentially contribute to the observed effect. Okay, now this is the example of cause and effect diagram. Now we move to the second part, which is tools to organize the data. This is the tools that involve here. Pareto chart. What is Pareto chart? It is a type of chart that contains both bars and line graph where individual values are represented in descending order by bars and the cumulative total represented by the line. Then where we can use the Pareto chart. Pareto charts are useful to find the defects to prioritize in order to observe the greatest overall improvement. How can we interpret? This is the example, then take a look for this. The left vertical axis of the Pareto chart has counts or costs depending on the data used. Each vertical bar represents the contribution to the total from a given problem area. The bars are placed on the graph in rank order. That is, a bar at the left has the highest contribution to counts or costs. The right vertical axis has percent demarcations. A cumulative line is used to add the percentage from each bar starting at the left, which is the highest cost or count bar. And flow chart. what is actually flowchart is. Flowchart is a type of diagram that represents a workflow or process. And where we use flowchart, it can be adapted for a wide variety of purpose and can be used to describe various processes such as a manufacturing process, an administrative or service process, or a project plan. And how to interpret it. It shows steps in sequential order and is widely used in presenting the flow of algorithms, workflow, and process. Typically, a flowchart shows the steps as boxes of various kinds and their order by connecting them with arrows. Now, this is the example of flowchart, as you can see in the screen, okay? Now we come to the last part, which is the first tool is histogram. What is histogram? Maybe we already familiar with this one. A histogram is a graphical representation that organizes a group of data points into user's specified range. Where we use histogram, it is used to summarize discrete or continuous data that are measured on an interval scale to illustrate the major features of the distribution of the data in a convenient form and how to interpret it. The first one is symmetric and scaled right and scaled left. Symmetric, if you cut it down in the middle and the left hand, right hand sides resemble mirror image of each other. And scaled right looks like a lopsided mound with the tail going off to the right. And scaled left, it looks like a lopsided mound with the tail going off to the left. And the last part is statistical process control chart. What is it? The control chart is a graph used to study how a process changes over time, where we can use SPC. SPC can be applied to any process where the conforming product output can be measured. Then how to interpret it? There are 7 rules to interpret it. The first one is 1 point beyond the 3 control limit. Second is 8 or more points on one slide, the center line without crossing. The third is 4 out of 5 points in zone B or beyond. Fourth is 6 points or more in a row, steadily increasing or decreasing. And the fifth rule is 2 out of 3 points in zone 4, zone A. Rule 6 is 14 points in a row alternating up and down. And the last rule is any noticeable or predictable pattern, cycle, or trend. This is the example of SPC chart. Okay, everyone, so that's all about for the 7 tools of TQM. Hope you guys enjoy and understand it. Thank you. Bye-bye.